Welcome back to the channel, and if you're here, it's because you want to see the progress on this project. And this is the red hood cycle that we left off with on the last video, or the first part. This is the second part, and I'll have a third part with the lighting because I'm actually waiting for some other pieces to come in, and that's because I broke one of the pieces that you will soon find out. Now, I've added this white tube. It's actually made for jewelry, and it's the exact width of the drill bit that I used, but I've drilled all the way through, and I've only put this in to show you with the contrast where I plan to put my wiring for those headlamps. And I've ran it all the way through there just to show you with contrast. I want to use black, but if I would have used black, it would have been harder to see. And as you can tell, I drilled through the top cavity at an angle all the way through into the center of the body, and then it just extended it through, and that's where I'm going to run my wire, left and right side. I have already pre-wired and soldered my recharge board. It is the 4506, in case you were wondering. It's the same board I'm using, or that I have been using for the last projects. Now, that bulb that you see there, that's from a different project. It's a mistake that I happen to have, but it works well for just this sort of thing, testing out the lights. The battery is a rechargeable battery. What I do want to show you here is not necessarily the wiring of the spaghetti that you see here, but this teeny tiny little switch. When I first purchased this a few months ago, about 4 of them, they were only $13. Well, that price has gone up for that teeny tiny switch. It is now $30. So if you plan to do this project on your own, you might want to opt for a less expensive switch. This I found on eBay for $13. Now it's $30. But let me show you what it does. It's actually magnetic, and I'm going to turn the lights down just a bit more so you can actually see the switch in progress and how bright this light is. Here, it's really difficult to see because the background is white. So let's tone down the camera, and this is what it looks like. And this magnetic switch is it's a type of reed switch, but a reed switch needs to have a magnet on it all the time. Here, this switch uses a magnet to switch it on or switch it off. And that is what I will be using in this cycle. I don't want a touch switch. I don't want a flip switch. I don't want a push button switch. This was the most convenient, and because it's so tiny, it's really easy to hide, but it's also going to be really cumbersome to install it. That's why I had to pre-wire everything here. Now that bulb that you see there, it's so bright because it's a 100 milliamp bulb. This is where I want to put in my recharge piece, that cavity that I've drilled out here. It's a real pain to install. So I'm going to do this off camera, and I actually opted for a different method. I'll show you that a little bit later. But it took me, maybe 2 hours to do this, and I broke it. I broke my soldering. I broke the recharge connector. The board is fine. Actually, I had to cut down the board. On the inside, there are some obstacles. Obviously, they're plastic, but I can't see where they are to be able to grind them down and make it fit. So I had to use a different method. And this tape that I have on here, I was using it to pull it through. It didn't work. Anyways, we'll see you next time on the third part of this project.